Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Kelly Sparks. I'm going to interrupt my Scotch reviews because I just picked up this Booker's 2018-03 Kentucky Chew. If I'd have done it, if I'd have reviewed it the day that I got it, probably would have had the first one on YouTube. But I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I think there's two videos already, so I'll be the third. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and read the new series they got going this year. They got a little batch story along with it. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. I'm happy to release the third batch in the Booker's Bourbon 2018 collection called Booker's Batch 2018-03 Kentucky Chew. It's named in tribute to my dad's signature way of tasting bourbon that we still use today. Many years ago, a whiskey writer coined Dad's special technique, the Kentucky Chew, after sitting down with him for a tasting. To get a good Kentucky Chew, Dad would take a sip of bourbon, work it around his mouth, and then smack his lips a few times like he was chewing on the whiskey. He liked the way the bourbon coated the different areas of his mouth and how, by drawing in air, he could assess the flavor and finish of the bourbon. We still teach Dad's Kentucky Chew method anytime we're hosting whiskey tastings at the distillery or in our travels. I use it myself when I'm tasting bourbon, especially Booker's, to discover the full range of flavors it has to offer and to assure it's up to Dad's standards for his namesake bourbon. If Dad were here today, I know he'd give this batch his good old Kentucky Chew and enjoy every moment of it. I hope you'll join me in toasting him and all of his traditions that we carry on today. Fred No, Beam Family, 7th Generation Master Distiller. All right, here's some information. This batch is made up of barrels from 2 production dates, aged in 7 different locations within 4 warehouses. The breakdown of the barrel locations is as follows. 29% came from 4th floor of 9-story warehouse D. 42% came from 6th floor of 9-story warehouse D. 8% came from 4th floor of 9-story warehouse I. 8% came from 7th floor of 9-story warehouse I. 6% came from 6th floor of 9-story warehouse J. 2% came from 7th floor of 9-story warehouse J. And 5% came from the 5th floor of 7-story warehouse N. This batch, being named Kentucky Chew, is appropriate as it is the flavors my father would have chewed on for a good while. Smiled and said, we done good on this batch. The nose is sweet with some hints of dried fruit, along with the vanilla that is characteristic of Booker's bourbon. As the bourbon aerates, some of the vanilla comes to the front, inviting you to taste the bourbon in your glass. This taste that is unmistakably Booker's bourbon, with a robust profile that is intense at first, but finishes sweet and medium bodied. Put so much wax on it. It's so waxy. So, make sure to get all the giblets off. Don't want to end up swallowing some wax. Ooh, look, they went to synthetic corks. I think that's different from the last bottle. Go ahead and let that simmer while I ain't gonna worry about it. Oh yeah, much tighter feel. I actually not so much of a traditionalist where I think distilleries probably should go to the synthetic corks. I know most traditionalists will be like, oh, blah, 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 real cork, whatever. If you're going to sit on a bottle for a long time, it's much better to either have a plastic twist cap or a synthetic cork. It's going to keep your whiskey longer. It's going to get less air in there. It's going to be better. So, what are you doing? Oh yeah, it's really vanilla. It smells delicious. I'm going to let that open up a little bit. See if I can find some different tasting notes on the interwebs. I'm not going to edit this out because I really don't care. Y'all can just fast forward. All right. Oh well, I'm not finding any tasting notes, so we're gonna do it live. Ooh, it's hot. Definitely vanilla and caramel heavy. There's a slight, ooh, is that baking spice? There's a different spice on the back end that I'm getting. Tastes like popcorn. That's what it is. Yeah, it has a, almost like salted popcorn. Change the nose on it. It's like a man, what is that? Cinnamon cookies or something? Like a cinnamon dusted cookie. Smells delicious. Man, it's pretty good. I don't like it as good as the Kathleen's batch. Now, I guess I would have to do a head-to-head on that one just to see, but just off memory, I think the Kathleen's batch might have been a little better, but that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean somebody else is going to think it's better. One thing I do notice, though, when you do that Kentucky Chew, very hot on the palate. I mean, it's 126.7 proof, 63.35% ABV. It's very spicy all around, but it's hot. Don't get me wrong. It's warm. But it's not so warm where it just completely overtakes all the flavors. Wish I had a little dollop of water I could put in it. But even doing the chew, holding it on the palate, like I've had cast strength whiskeys that just completely annihilate your taste buds, and all you taste is heat. And I don't get that from this one. I mean, it's pretty tasty. If you're a fan of Booker's, I mean, I would definitely recommend picking it up. Yeah, it's like a nutmeg. That's what it is. Cinnamon nutmeg. Oh, it's so good. It's definitely hot. You can chew on that one for a while. But, I mean, I give it my thumbs up. It's not the best one I've had, but like anything, I mean, I could love it. You could hate it. You could hate it. I could love it. Vice versa. I could hate it. You could love it. So, it doesn't matter. I think it was a good buy. All in all, I don't hate it. I like it a lot, but give it a try, test it, check it out, see what you think. You can find one. I picked this up the first day that the store got it, so I just happened to walk in at the right time. I like it. But that's it. Don't forget to follow me and follow my channel, like and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram at SonofThor3. We got the podcast, Bearded Idiots Podcast. Hopefully we'll be doing a Buffalo Trace series. We'll start with Buffalo Trace and work through some of those whiskeys. We've got Eagle Rare, Weller, E.H. Taylor, Blanton's, Elmer T. Lee. I've got most of that stuff on hand, so we'll be able to do quite a bit of them. And I'm hoping that I can get some allocated stuff this fall. So we'll see. But check us out. Like us, share us with your friends. Buy some Bookers. Buy some whiskey. Drink it, share it with your friends and family, and have a good time. Y'all be safe. Take care.